You know, another word I fucking hate is lathered. I don't know why. It reminds me of a fat man putting mayonnaise like all over his body. I don't know.
What the fuck? How the fuck do you associate lathered with mayonnaise and fat guys?
It's just the pronunciation, I think. Lather, fat, lather, fat.
Oh, Jesus.
Do you have any words for you that like you, that make you cringe a little bit?
Let me think here.
I would think no then, if you had to think about it.
Well, yeah, no, I'm sure that somebody brings up a
Besides,
word.
like, racial, obvious ones and shit.
Coagul.
Coagul.
I'm a big fan of that one.
What about stalactite? Does that bother the shit out of you?
Does not bother that one out of me at all. Okay, coagul. I don't like coagul. Maybe it's because I can't really say it. Coagul.
A collaboration.
I like that word.
Me too. It's like a gentle type.
It's
word.
like
everybody
celebration.
Around,
like
an
celebration and working together. They say collaborate and celebration molded together. Collaboration.
Well, I mean.
On the next episode of the Reset Button, words that bother us. Words that we like.
Speaking of, get yourself moist and lathered up because it is episode 36 or 37 or one of them of the Reset Button, Tannen.
Yes.
Welcome back.
Figure out. Yeah, it's good to be back. It's good
Unintentional
to
hiatus.
Yeah, really. I don't know what was up with that. We're
lazy. Let's say we work a lot and we're fucking lazy. We procrastinate.
Yeah, I wouldn't call us lazy people.
Yeah, we're procrastinators, I would say. It's more like if we sit down for more than 20 minutes, we're going to fucking fall asleep after work. That's just where we're at in life, I feel like.
Yeah, we're old.
But this is not old. It's good to be back. Glad to have you back, man. And where can everyone check you out once again before we get this rolling?
Check me out at Tannen's Bum at Twitter. You can also check me out on my Facebook. My name's Tannen Paul on there. I never plugged that at all. You check us all out at Hibiki TMD and Team Laser Mouse with a lot of great shows. About wrestling, gaming, sometimes current events. Eventually, Karen and I are going to have our own show as well. All of it's filmed of the exotic places that one can go to locally. So it's not very exotic, but it's local. You should come to the zoo with us, the Catoctin Zoo with us.
Never been to the Catoctin. I've been to the Baltimore Zoo.
Dude, they take you on a safari ride. It's fucking awesome.
Is it one of those like you sit in your car and like they give you the pellets or whatever, and that you can feed them from your car type thing?
Mm-hmm.
Just talking about that, and speaking of which, with our buddy Broski, which we're talking about, unintentional hiatus. The funny thing is, we were going to be guests on another show tonight. That's what finally got our asses out in gear and brought us together. We weren't even planning to do this. That's what's so ironic about it. But yeah, as always at the Hibiki TV, like Tannen said, all that good shit. Tannen, though, news-wise, I'm a little bit not out of the loop, but just not following as much due to not doing the show weekly, of course, which is, whatever. Lots of Neo Geo. I've dove in so much. Obviously, thank you guys for all the love on Samurai Showdown month. It's come to an end. Tan and I reviewed 6 goddamn Samurai Showdown games, and I would say check each and every one of them out. I didn't play a bad one, honestly. And they're SNK games, and there's maybe 1 or 2 bad games legit for a Neo Geo system SNK in that time period to begin with. They're all good games. All of them.
You know what? I've never played them. Never have, so I'm gonna have to check them out.
Mame, my friend. It's your best friend. Just playing more Origins, just fucking around side missions, playing PS4 version GTA 5 more because I only ever played it 360, like we said. But the arcade video, you that has dropped since we've last recorded, I believe, and that was awesome. I think we didn't have an episode since then. I know we went live last time.
We did. I got really drunk and passed out. It ended very abruptly. I was really pushing myself, so
Hey,
Was what it was. But yeah, the arcade adventure was great. Um, there's a couple other things arcade wise that I'd like to visit. There's one not far from you that I would like to go with you. It's like a diner esque place,
right.
so we can actually get breakfast and
There's go
then
karts 5 minutes from my house too. It's like a Chuck E. Cheese type place with a golf course, all that shit. We should go there too this summer.
ooh, go karts. I
It's
like
dirt cheap too. Go karts are tremendous at any age.
yeah. I mean
You don't
that's
need a goddamn banana peel to enjoy go karts.
but yeah, even so, like I mean, like we didn't show it in the video. I got a lot of good grabs because there was a store down there. Forsaken 64 was one thing that I picked up. And I have had a lot of good pickups. Got the original Tekken finally. Add to my collection.
Very nice.
Um, Spy Hunter 2 I did pick up too for PS2. Assassin's Creed Unity finally got that for the Xbox One.
I
So
finally got Syndicate since we've last recorded, but I haven't played it yet. It's still in its package,
yeah,
but I
I
didn't
haven't
pick it
played
up.
Unity yet either. So
Look at that, huh?
oh, dude, I've already played Syndicate though. I haven't played it through, but I rented it. It's a really good game. I mean, you won't be disappointed. But from what I hear with Unity, I'm going to be pissed off. This tendency, like I don't know what it is, man. I've been masochistic against myself lately. With the whole thing, like we were talking earlier. I picked up a copy of, or not a copy. I actually got a PS TV
Here we
um
go.
the other week. What
Let's
a
let's
market!
let's get right
Like,
down to
yeah,
it. The
no,
PSTV, Tannen. The PSTV, real quick.
oh
When did this
god.
drop? What year officially?
I really think it dropped 2016. I think was the official year. I don't really remember, but basically, it is this small box. I mean, it fits in the palm of your hand, and you look at it, you think, "Wow, this is going to be awesome." And I'll go ahead and go through the pros of it. It's very small, though it does have a very bulky power source to it, which is very odd. It's about the size of a PS Vita charger, like that big box.
Right.
Like, I shouldn't say big. It's not like Xbox big AC box,
Yeah.
but it's still like needlessly big for as small as it is. Um, and it does charge PS3 and as well as PS4 controllers, and it also reads PS3 and PS4 controllers. That is one cool thing about it. It will read either system's controllers there. Here's the big kicker, Travis. PS View.
Ugh.
Yeah, because that was another thing. Well, this will use it for PS View. Nope, can't even use it for that. No YouTube, no fucking nothing. This thing is really good for if you downloaded games for your PSP. It's like a Super Game Boy. If you downloaded games for your PSP from the internet, don't own the UMD discs, but you downloaded them, you bought them from the PS Store, it will play those.
Which is bullshit. We were saying it all fair how if it's compatible with certain Vita games or whatever, there's no excuse you can't get a UMD slot in there. Make that a feature. No
Yeah.
excuse. Look at all the movies that are now obsolete they released on the fucking PSP. You know what I mean? Make
Oh, no,
some
no.
use of all this plastic.
Funny enough, those are rising in price, and I have a shit ton of them because I just kept buying them when they came in the shop because I was getting them dirt cheap. For when I'm like up at the lake house or something, and I have this adapter that I can plug into the TV that runs the PSP. So it's like, hey, you guys want to watch a movie? Like I have this at least. Um, but yeah, it's just like and the PSP movies are just a fun thing to have. I don't know what it is with me with those. Same goes for the games. I mean, I'm still snatching up every PSP game that I got. Another one of my grabs actually this week was Pirates of the Caribbean at World's End for PSP. I have not played it yet. I'm sure it's not that great, but I mean, fuck, it looks like it's fun enough on the back cover. It looks like it's just a sword play game. It almost looks like a fighting game. The
Right,
most
right.
dynamic sword play ever. And like I think that's what it is a fighting game. It looks like it. They make it look like that on the back. I don't know.
Bottom line, I think, with the PSTV, would you say it's at least as advertised or it's definitely a disappointment?
No, definitely not. It was a total market fail.
Right.
They didn't update the Vita games to be compatible with it. They at one point said they would because I mean, shit, the PS4 has that touchpad on it,
Right.
and that was supposed to be what would work with it, and they never did anything with it. So they never updated it to work with that. Like you get that hoping that your Vita games would work on it because of the Vita slot. Like when you look at it, you're like, ooh, this is a Vita slot. No, it's get out of the way, Virtual Boy. Here's a market failure right here.
Right.
I really feel bad for anybody that bought this a couple years ago for $100. Like I feel bad for myself for spending 30 on it. That's what I got it for.
I would
But
say the general consensus from the reviews and just quotes I've seen on social media is definitely negative over the years for them.
very fucking negative. But it is a little piece of something to have in my little collection.
So is
You
the
know.
Virtual Boy too. That's just for nerds like us though. It's like you guys still
Yeah.
gotta have it. Doesn't matter. Look at the CDI. It's a piece of shit, but look how many people go out of their way to spend so much money on that stuff.
Yeah, but hey, it takes up a lot fucking less space than a CDI.
That's very
And
true.
and as I said too, like there are games like I mean I am a PS Plus member. I can still get online and link my Vita games to this system. Whether or not they work. And I've been a PS Plus member for long enough that some of my PSP games I did download are compatible with this no matter what. So there is that, and
Right.
it's just, so I do have that going for it. Really honestly though, the best thing that I put on it was Metal Gear Solid. Took up a
Yeah.
shit ton of space, and I'm gonna have to like put a extensive memory card because I did that Dino Crisis on there.
How much memory do those come packed with?
I
Standard.
believe like maybe 20 gigs. It's
Hmm.
not that much.
Right.
But once you start slamming shit on there like I did, there's a few RPGs that I put. I think I put Breath of Fire 3 on there. That didn't take up a lot of space, surprisingly enough. So I have a few games on there. Pinball takes up a shit ton of space somehow. I have PS1
Zen
Pinball.
pinball? Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, I don't know why it takes up so much space. That blew my mind. I was like, wow, like that takes up more space than Metal Gear
I
Solid on here.
think and Zen Pinball and Zen Pinball 2 are tremendous, by the way. We've never really talked about those games. I would say check those out. They're available on any fucking
Yeah,
console
they're
anywhere.
great.
But I feel like those are underrated because there's definitely some meat to the graphics for a pinball game on those. Never really seen in a. They're
Oh
really
yeah,
good.
most definitely. That was around the time when like PC pinball was also popular. You had the Star Wars pinball series and things like that. Like they were just trying to make them really graphical. The thing is that like you would always rather go to an arcade and play a pinball machine though. It was a dick tease.
Yeah, yeah. And some of those tables you just want to exist so bad in real life.
Oh yeah.
And not even like get the Marvel one. No, I mean the ones like they create for the game, like the I think it's the Atlantis or Under the Sea one. I fucking love that one. It's really good. Tannen, guess what? Samurai
What?
Showdown month was February. It is a new month. Take a wild guess what the theme of the month is. I feel like we should start doing themes. They're fun to do for reviews, and just gives me like I don't gotta like have writer's block on what to review next. It's like a steady flow. Go down the list. Guess what it is, Tannen?
Kind of could be anything.
I'll give you a
Uh,
hint.
Soul Blade.
No, I'll give you a hint.
Huh?
Meow.
Mix.
It's
Oh,
Godzilla,
it's
Tannen. It's Godzilla
meow.
month.
How would I guess meow from Godzilla?
I told you off air. I thought you already knew. I was trying to make it like you would have
Oh,
to guess what.
I was about to say you're not fucking saying Bubsy. It's Bubsy month. Fuck you.
Tannen,
Fuck
but
you.
yeah,
Bubsy.
dude, fucking one of the most timeless characters I feel like ever is Godzilla, man. And I feel like every generation, my kids love Godzilla. He's just a cool. Certain models of Godzilla are cool. I should correct myself
Oh
right
yeah.
off the bat.
Oh man, no, like, and I've talked before. I had a house fire when I was a kid, and one of my only surviving toys was one of those. Remember in Roseanne, the Godzilla she had in the background all the
Yeah,
time?
it's like her
Yeah,
decoration.
I had the smaller scale version of that, but that survived the fire somehow. Like Godzilla don't die, motherfucker.
Cockroaches share and Godzilla toys from the 80s will stand the test of time, it says.
Yeah,
But
it just it was fucking amazing. Now, like, yeah, as far as giant monsters go, though, like that's the creme de la creme there.
yeah, the whole fucking kaiju. And now we see things, shout out to pro wrestling again. There's like this kaiju big battle thing they have. It's like this guy's dude dressed up like Godzilla monster or something. It's pretty cool. And just the cult, just to see this steamroll. It debuted in '54, right? It was the first one, the very first Godzilla. And just to see the steamroll effect for, like I said, like every decade, he's just always. More times than not, you meet people that like Godzilla movies as opposed to I hate them. I think as far as the nerd demographic, I feel
And
like.
I don't know how you could ever hate Godzilla movies.
Oh, I didn't know how you can hate some of them. Trust me.
Or,
Like,
well, no, giant monsters. No, because they're all actually. I mean, come on.
they're
Yeah,
not.
there's
Do not say that. They're not. Son of Godzilla fucking sucks. Let's
no,
say
there,
it right
there's
off.
there,
Shout out
there,
to my
there.
buddy Tater Snake. I was just talking to that today. I hate that movie.
Oh
And you
yeah.
know what?
Well,
You
let's
know
get
what?
started. Well, yeah, well, let's get started on the animated series. And Godzuki.
We'll get
Like
there.
oh man, you remember that? You remember that?
Oof.
You remember being up 1 o'clock in the morning, smoking a bunch of weed, and watching that fucking show.
Oh boy.
They're on a boat. They're like, Godzilla, what are we gonna do? Ah!
I'm
Like,
reviewing that fucking series too this month, by the way. So there's
oh man,
not just games this month. We're gonna focus on the Godzilla games here because boy, there's a ton of them, way more than I knew. Even ones I didn't know existed until I started doing it this month. But the movie, as far as the movies go, yeah, like Tannen said, it's really hard, and they're not meant to be these fucking works of art. They're
they're
supposed to be
not.
hokey.
They're supposed to
For
be
its time,
campy.
they were dry. They were make out with your girlfriend movies in Japan, and it made it.
And you know what? In the late '90s, we also had Jimmy Page remixed by Puff Daddy.
Christ, you're just picking out every piece of shit in the franchise right off the
Democrats,
bat.
chemicals. Damn these
Christ.
hoes, you stepping on my toes. That is a real line out of that fucking song, by the way.
Ugh.
I owned the soundtrack when I was younger.
I would rather watch Son of Godzilla on like a 24-hour Christmas story loop than to watch the '98 Godzilla one.
To Matthew, no, I like to call it the Matthew Broderick. Actually, that is actually Ferris Bueller's Day Off too. Okay, that is what that movie is.
Dude, that's
Ferris
dude,
Bueller's Day Off Part 2.
Dude, that puts a whole new fucking spin on that. Now I kind of want to watch it because
It makes
it's like,
it entertaining if you think about it like that. I had to do that. I was like, "Yep, this is it. This is Ferris Bueller's Day Off Part 2."
holy shit, that's amazing. I can't even put into words how amazing that is. But Tana, have you seen every Godzilla movie? I'll come clean. I've never seen every single. There's newer ones I need to catch
can't
up
say
on.
I have. This would be one thing that, like, my buddy Matt, one of my coworkers, I would have him on the show for. That motherfucker's obsessed
There you go.
with Godzilla. I mean, it was just, yeah, he just fucking loves the shit out of him.
Are you one of these like your buddy Matt? Are you aficionado, or are you just you've seen?
I'm not an aficionado at all. I mean, dude, I'll watch King Kong all day, but like, I
Right.
mean, whatever. But I was a King Kong fan when I was a kid.
You and I and we both like Godzilla. I feel we do, but we were always Star Wars kids as opposed to
Yeah.
Godzilla kids. I feel like.
Well, they're Star Wars kids, and I wasn't necessarily. I was a Transformer kid to a certain extent, but I was more of a Turtles kid.
Yeah.
It just was what it was. But did I like? I still enjoyed them. Like, I can still watch a Godzilla movie and really enjoy it. But as far as the giant monsters go, they're my favorite. Still, Kong. King Kong is my favorite giant monster, and I don't know why.
I still gotta go the cheap route with Mecha Godzilla being my favorite monster. I mean, it's an obvious reason. He's so badass, and
I mean, he's got the laser eyes and shit, but like Kong, like, I don't know, like that was one of the first movies that I saw as a kid that was like outside of the Disney spectrum, I guess.
Yeah.
In a way. I got it from the library. I was probably like 4 or 5 years old. And it was also black and white. It was one of the first black and white films I actually sat down as a kid and watched. And it just was really intense to me. And then well, here's the 80s version with wasn't the dude from Big Lebowski in that version?
Jeff Bridges.
Yeah, Jeff Bridges, I think, was in the '80s remake, and I fucking hated that one.
Yeah,
Thought it was
yeah, yeah.
thought it was terrible as a kid. I liked the old one
See,
a
and that's
lot.
so funny because big monster movies we liked them as kids, but they weren't really our bags as kids. But I preferred Godzilla over Kong as a kid, and probably still to this day. And you preferred the opposite, which is weird but cool. You know what I mean?
I just, like, I don't, even when I was a kid, like, I liked Model Ts and shit like that. And like, I had a bunch of like cars. I played with cars a lot as a kid. And I even had a fucking Godzilla toy. Like I said, I've had that motherfucker since I was like 4.
Yeah.
And I was really into dinosaurs, but something about Kong, something about a giant ape really appealed to me. And versus a giant dinosaur, like you know what, to me, like, giant dinosaurs, like, those were real, motherfucker. Like a giant ape, on the other hand, like, show me that. Like, to me. But also, like, the fact with the old movie was, like, it was old cars, and like, I think that's what blew me away, like, as a kid, was that it was like, I think my first look into the past and realizing that, oh, that's how shit was back then. And that's what appealed to me about King Kong. And then still to this day, though, like, I'm more of a Kong fan out of all the giant monsters. I mean, I know people that are a Mothra fan, and that's their top giant monster. And they will argue to the bone that Mothra is the best giant monster. And it's just like, that comes out of
Ugh,
left field.
God, that's a horrible take. That is so inaccurate. Anyway, I think what's awesome, Mothra. Fuck Mothra. Ugh. Godzilla though.
I mean, I see their argument. All of them have magical powers, but hey, in the original Godzilla versus King Kong, who won, Travis? Who won that battle?
Ty? Nobody. Nobody won in those
No,
movies.
Kong totally whooped his ass, whooped Godzilla's like asexual ass,
But it wasn't a determined, decisive finish. Okay. Anyway.
and then he goes swimming out into the ocean at the end of credits roll.
Exactly. He
And it
didn't
was like,
stand
and
victoriously.
like, he leaves the surfer people behind,
He didn't
while
stand
Beach
over
Boys
his
play.
torso, his lifeless body. They walked away. They were the bigger monsters that day. I think what was so cool about Godzilla though is his origin because they took the political route with it in a way where they
With
based
the
like
nuclear
he was created
testing
from
and shit.
nuclear radiation, but in like his origin, it's off like the Hiroshima bombings and his origin and stuff. So it's a
Godzilla
nice
kind of
little
had the same
twist on
thing.
reality they did.
They were going to some island they didn't know about. They were going to capture some animals, put them in a fucking zoo.
Yeah, your route's just
That
like
was
we're going to make
pre-nuclear.
money.
That was pre-nuclear.
Yeah.
So, like,
But he's been. I think Godzilla. There's been about 30 in total, Tannen. About 30, I would say. Godzilla movies, upper
oh yeah,
20s.
at least,
Yeah.
at least. Yeah, no. The Godzilla movie number definitely like beats Kong, beats the shit out of him.
Could you say besides King Kong, which that's even arguable with Kong in this question, is Godzilla the first real mainstream anti-hero in a way that became popular? Is being accepted as an anti-hero besides a Kong? Because I think Kong was you were felt
No,
sympathetic.
because I'm pretty sure Mothra like even went good there for a second. All of them have become good guys at one point, and then all of them wanted to
Right.
kill us.
I mean,
Like,
but that whole this
you just
canon
don't
though,
fuck
this
with
whole
giant
universe, this is the
monsters.
first
Like
time
they
we
fuck
saw it.
with us the first time we battle them, and it's like, okay, you exist.
It feels like, in a way, the Godzilla movies, as hokey and as corny as it sounds, they revolutionized how you view a hero, a protagonist, in a way. To put it in their shoes, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? I
But see,
think
here's what's
Godzilla
fun. Like,
doesn't get enough credit.
no. In the original King Kong movie, you feel bad for him.
Yeah, but that's sympathy as opposed to doing justice for the people in a way, I guess. Because I don't know if he's doing it for the people because he's totally manipulated most of these movies. Come on.
Kong?
Fucking Godzilla.
Oh yeah, that's true too. Well, Kong, I mean, like, dude, like, he was after a woman in the first one. You know what I mean? Like, he just
Yeah.
wanted to fuck.
Well, I see now why young Tannen like Kong so much.
And they take him, fuck you. And they take him to New York now. He climbs the Empire State Building and he's just like, I don't even belong here. Fuck you. And then they kill him. They kill him in the
Yeah.
first movie.
I'm
And
not
then,
saying that it wasn't sympathetic. It was
oh,
one of
wait,
the
no, they
most
didn't kill
sad
him. They
moments
just,
ever.
like, they really lock him down. You just feel bad for him.
Yeah.
You know, like you feel bad for Godzilla in the first one. I'm a lizard. Oh shit, nuclear bomb.
Tannen, our bread and butter, though. Why, as much as we love to talk movies, the Godzilla games. Holy shit! If
The
anyone
most
deserved
terrible
better
thing that we were
games,
ever handed. We were handed a horrible hand on those.
Christ.
You know what we got? We got Rampage, and now there's a movie that's gonna suck.
Yeah. Yep, that has come out too. Plus The Crow, that which we didn't talk about in the news with Jason Momoa. That, that's a whole other topic. We'll get that down the line. But the games, Tannen, the very first NES game, the Godzilla game. It had a chance, but those side-scrolling parts, like on the moon and shit, they took forever, and that I feel like is what made that game a piece of shit. Not to mention the hit detection, not to mention the weird chess setup, not to mention the fucking monsters they picked as the antagonists were baffling, like one-offs or really rare ones, not like a staple, like a Megalon you would or something. Not the fucking. I didn't even remember the guys in the NES game, the enemies. That's how irrelevant they were in the franchise.
No, it was a horrible game. You know, no, and then like as time went, it still got worse and worse. Rampage,
See,
why couldn't we get a game that was Godzilla, but it was like Rampage at the time? I don't know, like a clone that would have worked.
that's the beauty, my friend, of emulation, and we talk about it all the time. As much as a dirty word that is to some people, it's a great way to discover shit. I found a Godzilla game on the GBA. Guess what? It plays and looks just like King of the Monsters, and it's fucking good.
Oh
And I'm
wow,
reviewing it right now. I'm going to drop it probably in a couple days. It's good, and I would definitely recommend that game. And I didn't know it existed. Now,
was that
the
released in
Godzilla
America?
Game Boy game. Well, let's go there. Bubble Bobble. What the fuck is that piece of shit? What were they
Bubble
thinking? Like
Bobble.
seriously, not to rip off James Rolfe, but what the fuck were they thinking with Godzilla on the Game Boy? You played that one, Tannen?
No.
You're literally a Bubble Bobble character, and it's this cutesy little cartoony Kirby looking. It looks like a Kirby game, and it's awful, and it plays like shit, and you get stuck in the first level. And they put Godzilla on the label. They even have the balls on the title screen of the Game Boy game to put a badass little sprite for a Game Boy of Godzilla. And then they go down the roster of all the monsters, and then you hit start, and it's a cartoon. It's worse
Did
than
you
the
play?
fucking.
Did you play the Godzilla game on PS4?
I did not. The newest one, no, I didn't.
It's horrible.
I bet it's not as bad as the Game Boy version. I mean, look at it right now. If you
I don't
just
know.
look at
I
an
don't know
image.
about all that, man. It's pretty fucking bad. Best one that I ever played, it not to rip off James Rolfe
Xbox.
again, but he's the one that made me like look into the emulator, was the Super Famicom one. That
Oh
was like a
yeah, the
fighting
2D
game.
fighter one. Yep, that's on the list too. That one's. I
Um,
mean, I feel like it's not that it hasn't aged well. It's just it's nothing. It's stripped down compared to better 2D fighters now, obviously. But at the time, I feel like we would have loved the shit out of that game if we would have got it.
would have blown our fucking minds. We would have played the fuck out of it. But no, this okay. Like, I don't even know how much it is. I never see it anymore. Man, I should pick it up. God knows, it might be kind of an obsolete game, but that Godzilla game on PS4 fucking blows.
What
And the
was
thing
bad
was,
about
is
it?
the trailer looked really. Oh, just the controls were clunky. The graphics, they fucking just. It's a half-ass game. They half-assed the fuck out of it. They got Godzilla license and was like, let's just shit this out real quick. Put it on a disc. It's on the new gen.
Yeah.
I mean, it should have been like pretty much like a PlayStation 2 game, in my opinion. Could have been, maybe a PS3 game, but it's fucking terrible, man. I don't know. It came out, and it was in Redbox, and I rented it. And again, Matt was like all about it until he played it and was like, this is terrible.
Ugh,
And
that's tough.
that's a friend of mine who gets a hard on for giant monsters.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah, totally. I feel like if you remember the ones for the original Xbox and PS2 that were fighting games, Destroy All Monsters, those were good. Those are like the two good
oh,
Godzilla games
Destroy All
besides the two.
Monsters is awesome.
Yeah, they were both good. You could be Jet fucking Jaguar, for Christ's sakes. Tannen, though,
Yeah,
you mentioned the Super Famicom game. What did we get? We got Super Godzilla, which that's the one I defend. That's the one I feel like, because I played it as a kid. I didn't hate it as a kid. I was just so happy to have, like, graphically a Godzilla. I I trudged through and I made myself like it. Kind of like I talk about Ultraman on SNES, which people hate, but I like. I don't hate Super Godzilla, but I get why people would.
It's just again, it was when you have a license, right, to one of the greatest franchises ever created. I just don't understand it. The game should be fucking mind blowing. You know, like I just don't get it. But you know, at the same time though, you know what I'm a fan of? The Jaws game. I fucking love the Jaws game.
As always, you can follow me on Twitter at TheVickyTMD. All that good shit. Never drew a dime. Follow me. Check me out, I should say, on First Thing in the Morning, Cape Day Today Podcast, Grapple Vision. All the goodness. Until next time, the reset button. See you then. Let's hit it, Tim.
Later.